Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We'll be examining Redmi's most recent product, the Redmi 12. Wait, was there a Redmi 11? Redmi seemed to have ignored that number for some reasons. Anyways, we'll be taking a close look at this device to find out its uniqueness. This is Redmi's most affordable phone of the year as it costs 103,000 Naira and 139 in USD. What's intriguing is that the Redmi 12 has one of the largest displays in its class. Measuring a 6.79 inches and a storage space on the base model is double that of its predecessor at 128 gig. Additionally, I'm not sure it's IP certified, so take caution against splashes and dust. The cleaner appearance, which replaces the plastic rear panel with a smooth and shiny glass finish, is the first thing you would notice. The device also has a flat look overall, even on the plastic side frame. In terms of the rear design, it's been simplified. There is no longer a camera island. Instead, every camera lens has its own ring and a tiny bit of protrusion. You can choose between polar silver, sky blue, or my personal favorite, the midnight black, which we have here. The speaker grill and the USB-C connector are located on the base. It also includes a hybrid SIM slot, allowing you to utilize either two SIM cards or a micro SD and a SIM card at the same time, which can be found on the left side. The power button, which also functions as a fingerprint scanner, and the volume rocker are located on the right side of the device. Conveniently, it is situated directly beneath your thumb. The 3.5mm audio jack and something called IR blaster can be found on the top. The IR blaster can be used to control most electronic devices in your home. Talking about the display, it has a flat screen with tiny bezels as one would anticipate from a cheap phone. The entire chassis has a sleek, well-built feel to it. I must deem the build quality to be exceptional as I was unable to identify any problems or deal breakers. In fact, the presence of a glass back on a phone in this price range is extremely pleasant. It's important to keep in mind that the Redmi 12 is fairly large, so it can be a little awkward for you if you have smaller hands. Overall, the 6.79-inch IPS LCD display on the Redmi 12 has a 90Hz refresh rate and a 1080 by 2460 pixel resolution. The screen has a peak brightness of 540 nits, which is pretty close to the 550 nits that was stated. Gameplay on the Redmi 12 is reviewed. To begin with, I tried out Call of Duty Mobile on this gadget. Remember that the Redmi 12 has a GPU called the Adreno 610 that has been around for a while. We saw that the lowest detail functioned without issues after adjusting the graphics set, but regrettably the HD level was not available. In addition, I was able to attain a maximum frame rate of 30 frames per second. When I tried some easier games like Subway Surf, things started to improve. I was impressed by Redmi's 12 ability to play this game at over 110 frame rates per second. While the Redmi 12 has trouble delivering high frame rates in resourceful, demanding games like PUBG Mobile, it thrives in more straightforward titles like Subway Surfers, providing a smooth and pleasurable game experience. On the Subway side, the Redmi 12 has the newest MIUI 14, which is based on Android 13, and is a big improvement over the Redmi's 10, its replacement. Moving to the Redmi's 12 performance, it comes with a Helio G88 chipset and an octa-core CPU that combines the powerful Cortex A75 cores and a 6 power-saving Cortex A55 cores. This phone provides efficient app performance and smooth multitasking thanks to its 8GB of RAM. For the Redmi 12, Xiaomi promises two significant improvements. This means that when Android 14 and Android 15 are released, you can anticipate them. Additionally, Xiaomi will offer security updates until June 2027. Its outdated Helio G88 chipset struggles to keep up with the software demands. Even with its 90Hz refresh rate, I did notice little lags in some animations. Although I am aware that the Redmi 12 is a very inexpensive phone, an upgrade to a more effective silicon would have been welcome. The Redmi 12 achieved scores of 1,330 in multi-core tests and 420 in single-core tests on Geekbench, and it received a score of 258,006 on Altitude. As you can see from benchmark, the Redmi 12 makes the most of the Helio G88 chipset, but is still constrained. For the camera, the Redmi 12's camera configuration isn't that different from its predecessor. With few adjustments, it has a typical 3-camera system. The 2-megapixel depth sensor, which wasn't helpful, has been eliminated. You still receive a 50-megapixel primary sensor with a generous aperture of 1.8. Joining the action is a 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera with a 120-degree field of view and an aperture of 2.2. Not to mention the 2-megapixel macro unit for those close-up pictures. For the selfie lovers, there is an 8 megapixel with an aperture of 2.1 on the front side. The main camera photos are clear with a strong dynamic range and good clarity. The photographs has a dynamic feel thanks to the contrast and hue. However, because of the post-processing sometimes, noise can be seen on the footage. The ultra-wide camera performs better than anticipated, which is surprising. Although they have been over-processed, the images nevertheless seem beautiful when reduced in size, since they have good contrast and vibrant colors. For the macro lens, macro photography is really difficult. Nighttime photography are awful even with the dedicated night mode that takes a little longer to shoot pictures. It only slightly improves the quality. On the plus side, the night mode successfully reduces noise. Talking about selfies, when you consider the Redmi 12's price range, its selfies are actually quite good. The visuals are sharp enough even in poor illuminations. Just be sure to keep your hand firm as they may occasionally be blurs in low ambient lights. The 5000 mAh battery in the Xiaomi Redmi 12 offers outstanding battery life for all your regular activities. Additionally, the phone supports an 18-watt charging cable, so you can immediately resume using it when it needs to be charged. Overall, the Redmi 12 delivers strong feature set at a competitive price. This phone is worth taking into consideration because of its huge display, classiness and somewhat crispiness of the camera. I appreciate you for viewing, and for more tech thrilling contents like this, like the video and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And one more thing, tell us what smartphone you're using in the comment section. Till we see you again, bye bye, adios.